And we're going to be jumping into Ryley and Coco. Ryley, of course, last year's #2 at World Finals, made his debut in Helsinki, Finland. And Coco is someone who has been kind of on the cusp a couple of times and has had some pretty good performances overall in Clash Royale, but trying to make that final jump to being a Clash Royale League World Finalist. Ryley now contends with the first barrel, and that's an interesting question, Josh. What do you, when you look at what Ryley's got going on, unless maybe, I don't think anything's buried at this point, so how do you imagine him contending with those barrels as they come in faster and faster as the game goes on?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what his last two are, because if he has Mega Knight, this could be relative. I mean, we could see him build pushes. Coco, he still hasn't shown his last card, but you have to assume it's probably going to be a smaller spell. Usually you don't run bait with no small spell. So, okay, and so Coco's going to have the vines. I'm just waiting to see if Ryley has P.E.K.K.A or Mega Knight. It feels like every single time I'm trying to predict yesterday, I got it wrong. But I think he has to have P.E.K.K.A at this point.
And there you go.
There you go.
And welcome to Casting Clash Royale, as that is always the case. So Mega Knight does kind of change the conversation a little bit here, as you were talking about. You able to jump on top of those barrels and use that to create a counter push.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to just set them up in the back and see how much value you can get. We see the Golden Knight on the right side. Has to activate the ability without getting the Valk. I don't know if I would have preferred to see him use the Golden Knight on the left just because he's trying to utilize the ability, but right there, uses it on the right.
Bomb Tower plus Dark Goblin. Dark Goblin runs away, so that forces the extra Electro Spirit out. Ram Rider should connect, and it does. Entering into sudden death. Man, this is, again, so we're seeing kind of this really interesting thing here, Josh, where neither player has perfect responses. So lots of early chunks getting taken out.
Yeah, and that's a great use of the vines right there. Golden Knight almost able to get the dash on top of the E-Spirit. Not going to be the case. Ram Rider at the bridge. No Rage is going to follow just because Coco is going to lock everything up with the Bomb Tower. But yeah, that's a great point to say that neither player has the right answer. That's totally true with this matchup so far.
Thoughts on the Inferno Dragon's role in a game like this one, right? There's so many swarmy, baity, small-sized troops, not really a clear target for it. Do you think you see Ryley start to just focus on holding that in his hands as time goes on, or does he find a use for it, or just keep playing it for cycle?
I think once you get to triple elixir, that's when you get value from it. So now that we're almost here, I really wouldn't be shocked to see it get played all the time. We need to see a Golden Knight on the right side, get the activated dash.
Oh boy.
Vines are going to help, and that's going to get the tower down real low.
But here is that Evo Inferno Dragon. Absolutely shreds the Valk. Doesn't matter. Vines to hold on the right-hand side. Coco doing well with a good opportunity here. Bomb Tower really has been the shutdown card for him, as Ryley has not found a way to break through and get into that second level yet. Here we go. Vines at the bridge.
Yeah, these vines are getting so much value every single time. Ryley's just trying to look for an opening, and it's just not happening. Coco's playing this perfectly. Easy, even placing the Dark Goblin so well that it's staying out of the range of the Ram Rider's talons.
And the Vines trying to help out a little bit, doesn't matter. And Coco able to shut down. Maybe I was a little bit hasty saying that Coco didn't have the perfect responses. The Bomb Tower more than sufficient, especially when you have the Valk for some control. And Coco able to just shut it down. Ryley, tough matchup in this elimination game.
Yeah, we can see the emotions on Ryley's face.
Big one. For Ryley, where do you go from here? If you're talking to him about decision-making for game number 2, obviously you don't have tons of information on what you think Coco might do next. Do you go how far down the comfort list do you go to try to avoid a snipe but still get a good matchup?
You know, as long as he doesn't use Goblin Giant, I think I'm okay with any deck that Ryley could use. Hog is a brilliant option for him. I think too often he's relying on the Goblin Giant, and, you know, as well as Ryley's going to play it, the thing is, Ryley's so supremely talented. He's so talented that I don't like to see him use that deck over and over again. I want to see him, outcycle his opponents, utilize the best decks in the meta, and that's kind of what we're seeing. I think both players might be playing the exact same deck.
We'll see if there are any changes once we get past 5, as so far, through 4 cards at least, and now through 5 cards, these players looking very similar. Evo Furnace for Coco, Wizard comes out for Ryley.
That's a pretty big swing just to be able to use the Wizard instead of the Furnace. I believe the Wizard should be a little bit better in this matchup, and with the Monk as well. So yeah, still there's going to be a couple differences, and I believe the Wizard plus the Monk should do just a little bit better.
So Josh, let's talk about that matchup-wise, right? The Wizard obviously hits super hard. The Evo is really nice when you're talking about some of those bridge exchanges. Monk's Reflection is super valuable, but what are some of the thoughts about why that matchup leans towards Coco versus Ryley? Towards Ryley versus Coco, I mean.
Well, the Golden Knight, it's going to get a ton of value every time it uses the dash, but the problem is, for Ryley, he's going to have the Tesla. He doesn't really need to worry about the Golden Knight dashes. So, as good as the Golden Knight actually is, it's not going to get true value. Monk, on the other hand, has the opportunity to get true value, so that's why I think that the Monk should be just a little bit better in this matchup.
Lightning clears off the Monk. And now Hog behind all that. Tesla's going to have to come out. Furnace working on the Tesla plus the Hog. Guards clear, so Lightning instead of Earthquake as the final card here. And we'll see if he's able to find an opportunity to break through. Hog going to get at least 1 on the right-hand side, maybe 2. And no, Guards shut it down. Hog pushed the opposite way.
Just going to go with the pre-log. Going to be able to catch the Ice Spear, so that's pretty massive. Hog should get at least 1. Could it get a second one? It won't, and that would have been absolutely massive for Ryley. So Coco finally using all his cards. Ryley knows now what he has to match up against, and so we are going to be seeing high Teslas from both players every single time. And right there, except that one, basically, just because he doesn't want to have to worry about the offensive Tesla pressure from Ryley.
Coco sets up to the right-hand side. Troops-wise, a little bit better on the cycle side for Coco, with the Furnace and Golden Knight both at 4 versus the 5 for both the Monk and the Wizard. And you see there, Lightning one more time to get the Wizard off the board. But of course, the spell difference, 6 elixir for that Lightning, just 3 for the Earthquake.
Yeah, and beautiful activation of the ability from the Monk. I'm pretty shocked to see that the Monk was able to reflect and then take out the entire Furnace.
2367 to 2294 crosswise. Ryley trying to keep pressure on. Earthquakes, late Tesla to avoid the Earthquake damage. Log for some chip on the left-hand side. Ryley now with about a 300 HP lead.
Right there, this is going to be a ton of damage. He's going to be able to get the guards, maybe the Ice Spirit as well. Not a third shot, second shot, whatever that was. But now Coco takes the lead, triple elixir underway.
A lot of expenditure there for Ryley to recover in that one. And now there's a lot on the board. This might be very difficult to handle. Coco not quite to Lightning yet, doesn't need it though. Gets 2 hog shots. Ryley trying to respond in kind, but Lightning takes the Wizard off the board.
Needs to get the Tesla down, he will, but one of the Fire Spirits is able to get to the tower. 1301, 345. The Lightning proving to be the biggest difference in this game. Ryley's going to try and get aggressive. I like that. Monk at the bridge, Wizard at the bridge. Just try and get anything to go down, but I think it's just too little too late. The Lightning really changes how this matchup gets played.
Log comes through. You have to figure out, do you have any timing for the guards? Coco might just opt to play defense, not even spend for the Lightning. And very smart, throws it at the very end. And Coco, with the 2-0, will end the hopes of Ryley fans across the world, as our runner-up from 2024 will not be making an official 2025 appearance.